If you are tired of setting goals and not achieving them, let's go over why you should forget about your goals and focus on this strategy instead. Hello, my name is Octavio. I am a real estate agent, entrepreneur, and part-time YouTuber. For many years, I set goals for the grades that I wanted to get at school, the weights that I wanted to lift at the gym, and the pay that I was hoping to eventually get at my job. However, for all of these goals, I succeeded in a few and mostly failed at a lot of them. After looking at the few times that I actually succeeded, I noticed that there was a pattern, and let's go over that. My results had very little to do with the goals I had, and mostly everything to do with the systems I created. For example, back in university, I had the goal to one day getting hired by a Big Four accounting firm. The Big Four accounting firms are the biggest accounting firms in the world. They have offices all around the globe in every major city. They are so well known and so highly rated that working for one of them can drastically change your career path and open many doors for you. The problem I had was that only 1 to 2 students would get hired per year to work at one of these firms. So I had a very high level of competition. At this time, it was my junior year, and I realized that something had to change if I wanted to have a chance at achieving my goal. Luckily for me, I was friends with the guy who was accepted that year to work at one of the Big Fours, and he happened to also be the commencement speaker for his class. So I went and talked to him and asked him if he could share with me how he was able to do so well in school. I remember leaving that meeting thinking, man, this is going to be a tough couple semesters. I really have to get my together. So instead of giving up or thinking that it was impossible for me, I went back to my dorm and decided to create a game plan. I essentially developed the blueprint that I had to follow for the next years to come if I wanted to have a chance at getting this offer letter. I immediately stopped going out so much and began going to the library. I decided to become a mentor for Spanish and finance and knew that I had to build my resume if I wanted to be competitive. So I became the president for the Latin American Club on campus and also created my own organization for first generation students to help them also get involved and build the resume. Because I began applying myself a lot more in my academics, I immediately saw an improvement and began getting mostly A's. I got a B every now and then, but luckily I was able to really improve my grades and my GPA went up quite significantly. I believe at the end I was close to a 3.6, which is still okay for the level of competition that I was facing. However, I was hoping that my extracurricular involvement on campus was going to help me stand out from the crowd. It was finally time to apply for the Big Fours, and I decided to apply to 2 of them. After a lot of interviews and traveling to New York on my own for the first time, I finally got their emails, and surprisingly, I got job offers from both of them. This was my biggest achievement at the time, and for the first time I remember finally feeling like I did something right there. However, the story doesn't end there. As you remember, I told you that my friend also was a commencement speaker. And because I followed his path and created a blueprint based on the activities that he was doing at the time, I somehow became also a candidate to become the next commencement speaker. This wasn't my goal at all. I just wanted to get a job. But by following the footsteps of a previous speaker, I happened to, by accident, qualify myself to be also the future speaker, which is crazy. This was such a big lesson for me because if we look at other people that have been there before and done what we want to do, we can easily create blueprints for things that we want to achieve. To tell you the truth, when they told me that I was being considered for the commencement speaker position, I didn't even know if I wanted to do it because of my fear with public speaking. And to be honest, my struggles with public speaking and how I was able to get over them are a topic for a different video. However, it was a big deal for me to put myself in that situation. Eventually, because of my improved academics and continuous involvement on campus, I actually was selected to be the Rutgers School of Business commencement speaker. And that was incredible. I never thought that I could do something like that. It was a new challenge for me and definitely a challenge that I am so glad that I took, and it was one of the biggest moments of my life. And this all happened because I decided to focus on my everyday systems instead of my goals. I put my effort into waking up earlier, getting better grades, being more involved, doing the day-to-day activities instead of focusing on what the big picture goal was. I was very into the small, little, tiny habits that I had to create for me to achieve that bigger goal, and just woke up every day and did what I had to do to get there. And finally, eventually, after doing that consistently for months and months, I eventually just became a different person. Now I was changing my daily habits, focusing on my systems, and working at them consistently for months and years was what led me to having those opportunities. And if you have big goals and big dreams, do that. Create a blueprint. Think of what you have to do on a daily basis. Think about your systems and stop focusing on the big picture, because that can be overwhelming and it can definitely make you feel that maybe you're not enough or you don't have what it takes. Instead of doing that, focus on the small, tiny habits, the systems that you have to acquire to eventually get to your goal. Thank you for watching this video, and if you would like to see how I began my entrepreneurship career selling rice when I was 13 years old, click on the next video. And remember, forget your goals and work on your systems. Thank you, and bye.